Hello my dear friends, welcome to my new video. Oh, wait, can you see me? Just a minute. Yes, now I am visible. But do you think why I was not visible? Today, in today's video, we are going to understand and answer this question. Light. Class 8 chapter that is of science we are going to study in today's video, that is light. We are going to cover this whole topic in the least time. But before the starting, like, share and subscribe our channel Little Dear Sir because we provide the most valuable content on YouTube. What makes things visible? Now you have many things in your surroundings. You have a book, you have a pen, you have a chair in your room, you can see various things. How are these visible to us? You can see objects in the dark. Now in the starting of the video, can you see me or could you see me? No, you cannot see the objects in the dark. If no, then we can say we need a source of light to make the objects visible. Now when I turn on the light, then only you can see me. So here we can justify that to see any object, we need light. It is light which makes things visible to us. Learning outcomes. In this today's video, in a very fun manner, what we are going to learn? First, we are going to learn about the law of reflection. We are going to compare the regular reflection, diffused reflection. We are also going to see or describe the formation of multiple images, describe the structure of human eye, and explain the terms dispersion, and at last we will see the Braille system. What makes things visible? As I told you, you can see various objects in your day-to-day life and in your surrounding. Eyes alone cannot see any object. Means if there are only eye, if there is no light, you cannot see any object. But how does this work? Eyes can see when light comes from an object and enters in our eye. When light comes on our objects, any object, it reflects or bounces back and comes in our eye. This is the way how we can see the objects. The light may have been emitted by the object or may have been reflected by it. Now, if you take a torch and keep it in front of your eye, the light is going to pass in your eye. But now the light is being emitted by that object, but now light is reflecting on this pen and that ray or the light is now entering in my eye. This is not emitting a light, but it is reflecting a light. Terms related to reflection. Wow, what is the reflection? Bouncing back of the light rays from an object is known as reflection. In the previous slide, we saw that suppose the light is coming on this bulb and it is again going in our eye. The bouncing back of light ray from this object to our eyes or in many directions is known as just reflection. Now we are going to see some terms related to reflection. First term is incident ray. What is this incident ray? The light ray which strikes any surface is called the incident ray. In the previous slide, this ray which is striking this bird is known as incident ray. Means the ray from source to object is known as incident ray. Reflected ray. The ray that comes back from the surface after reflection is known as the reflected ray. Very simple topic, that the ray from object to the surrounding is known as nothing but the reflected ray. In this example, we have this ray as the reflected ray. Normal. Now, any imaginary line making an angle of 90 degrees, line representing the mirror at the point where the incident ray strikes the mirror, this line is known as normal reflecting surface at that point. Now, here we have an example. Here a diagram is given and there is shown the reflection. Here you can see that this is the incident wave. Incident wave nothing but it means the incident ray. This incident ray comes in this direction. This is a reflector, means a surface. Okay, it comes on this point in this direction. This incident ray, this is the source. Okay, source of light, and it reflects back. It reflects back. It is the reflected ray. But when we draw imaginary line means it is not in the real life. We imagine that line for the calculations. It is known as normal, and this angle is 90 degrees. This is known as the normal line. It is the same thing given here. Now, next important term is angle of incidence. Incident ray, incidence. Angle of incidence. The angle between the normal and the incident ray is called the angle of incidence. Now, this is the incident ray. Very simple topic it is, and in a fun way we are going to learn that it is the incident ray. This is the normal. Angle formed between normal and the incident ray is angle of incidence, and we represent it by small I. So this is the angle of incidence. Angle of reflection, the angle formed between the reflected ray and the normal is nothing but the angle of reflection. This is the angle of reflection. The angle between the normal and the reflected ray is known as the angle of reflection, which is shown by this sign, angle and small r. I hope you understood incident ray, reflected ray, normal, incident, angle of incidence and angle of reflection. These terms are very important to understand the further topics. Now here we have the laws of reflection. There are some laws of reflection. Now you go to school. You need to follow a law that you should come in a regular uniform. You should bring your books. These are the laws that every student must follow, and they are following. So here also we have some laws of reflection which are made by some peoples, means knowledgeable peoples about the science, and they never fail. So angle of incidence, our first law of reflection is that when a reflection happens, the angle of incidence is what? It is angle formed between incident ray and normal. So this angle is always equal to angle of reflection. So here we can say angle of incidence is always equal to angle of reflection. This point or this law followed by all the reflections. Next law is that the incident ray, the normal, and the point of incidence and the reflected ray all lie on the same plane. Can you see them on another plane? No, because suppose incident ray is falling on this plane. Okay, incident ray is falling on this plane. Will the reflection be on this means surface or this plane? No, because the incident ray is falling here, so the reflection will be like this, and we will draw the normal here. and if here is the reflection, this would be the incident, and here we will draw the normal. So it says nothing but that the incident ray, reflected ray and the normal lies on the same plane. These were the two laws of reflection. Next we will learn about the lateral inversion. What is lateral inversion? An image formed by a mirror, the left objects appear on the right and the right appears on the left. This is known as lateral inversion. Suppose you are watching towards the mirror. You raise your left hand. What do you raise? You raise your left hand. Now you also can see my left hand. Means you would see that I am taking up my right hand. Here also lateral inversion is happening. When you see in front of your mirror and you raise your left hand, your mirror image will raise its right hand. Means it will, if you are standing like this, the image will be standing like this. It is its right hand and it is your left hand. So if you are raising right hand, the left hand of the image is raised. It is left, so it will be laterally inversed in the mirror. Recapitulation means we are going to just summarize what we learned. Light is the form of energy that enables to see the objects. Reflection is the phenomena of bouncing back of the light after striking a plane and smooth surface. Angle of incidence is always comes equal to the angle of reflection.
Hey everyone, if you are in class 10th or any class really, you know that how exams are stressful and painful for all the students. What to solve, how to solve, where to solve. These question arises in all the students. But here's where the Oswald books comes in and solves the problem of all the students. I also have this Oswald's solved question paper set book, which consists of the question of the last year, which is solved for better understanding and which makes the exams of the students too much simple. And the best part, it is not only for the boards of class 10th or 12th, it is for all the students and all the classes. Oswald books makes learning simple, effective and easy to understand. It is not just a publication, it is the bond between student and their education. With these books, you can study smart, strengthen your concepts and feel confident for your exams. If you want to buy these books, you can go to the description box of this video and buy it, because Oswald books are the perfect study partners for every student. Special thanks to Oswald books for supporting every student to make the bright future of them. Check it out.
Now we learned about the reflection. The bouncing back of the ray from an object or a smooth surface is known as reflection. But we have two types of reflection. First, regular reflection. Reflection on a smooth plane. You take the example of mirror. Mirror is a smooth surface. So reflection on a mirror or a smooth surface is nothing but the regular reflection. But the reflection on a rough surface is known as diffused or irregular reflection. Regular reflection, a reflection from a smooth surface that like that of a mirror is called regular reflection. And when all parallel lines incident reflect from a rough or irregular surface are not parallel, the reflection is known as the diffused reflection. The difference is simple. It lies on a smooth surface and this is a rough surface. Okay, and in this regular reflection, the reflected ray and the incident ray, means these incident rays are parallel, these reflected rays are parallel to each other, means the distance between these two is same. But in the diffused reflection, the rays can go anywhere according to the crust and trough of the given object. So this ray can go here, this ray can go here, this ray can go here, means it is not parallel to each other, they can intersect. Okay, this is regular and diffused reflection. Formation of an image in plane mirror. How does a plane mirror work? So our eyes are seeing this into the mirror, and the means the light of this object is also going on the plane mirror. So the image formed is due to the, as we can see in this, the bottle or the given object. So the same object we can see here, and also we also say that suppose the distance between this plane mirror and the object, plane mirror and the object is 2 meters. So the distance between this mirror and the image you will see is also 2 meters according to our sight. Characteristics of image formed in a plane mirror. The image formed by plane mirror is behind the mirror. This is the plane mirror and it is the behind the mirror. Okay, the image formed by the plane mirror is same size and formed as same distance, as I told about the distance, but about the size. Suppose you have kept this size bottle, will the image form of this big bottle? No, because the size is also same in the image formed in the plane mirror. The image formed by plane mirror is virtual and erect. It is virtual image and it is erect, means the head of this bottle is upside, and in the image also it is upside. It is not upside down. The image formed by the plane mirror is literally inverted, means right side of the real object is left side of the object, means the image in the mirror, as we see in the first topic, that is the lateral inversion. Reflected ray can be reflected again, means one ray can be reflected again and again. This is the periscope. Okay, this is the periscope. When you see through this periscope, okay, means suppose let's take an example. Okay, the source of, suppose this is the source of light. It is on this plane and it is reflecting the light. Okay, this this apple, and from this the ray goes here. This is a 45-degree plane mirror, so it will reflect the ray again downwards, and this mirror will again reflect this ray towards our eye, and our eye will capture that ray. So this one ray is reflected again and again. Here also plane mirror is there. So plane mirrors, the periscope. A periscope consists of two plane mirror strips fixed at 45 degrees to the ends of a narrow tube. They are parallel to each other. So the person is seeing towards this side, but he can see the image of here due to the periscope. multiple images. When two mirrors are kept inclined at an angle, as we seen, they can together form multiple images. This is because the image formed by the one mirror forms the object for the other mirror. Recapitulation. So what do we summarize? We say that there are two types of reflection, regular and diffused reflection. Image formed in the plane mirror will be of same size, height, formed at same distance, and the image formed will be virtual and erect. Periscope is a device which means multiple images are formed, and the reflected ray is reflected again in the periscope. Next device we have, that is the kaleidoscope. A kaleidoscope is a device used to see multiple images of object. It has three inclined mirrors at the angle of 60 degrees to each other. This arrangement is usually kept in a cylindrical box and has a few pieces of colored glass kept at one end. We can see beautiful patterns and designs due to multiple images formed by the mirror. Means this is a kaleidoscope. Three plane mirrors, as you can see here. This is the first mirror, this is the second mirror, and this is the third mirror. So these three plane mirrors are kept in the angle of 60 degrees, and when we see through it, when we see through one end and we keep glass of means like this designs from one side, due to the reflection we can see different patterns, and many cloth designers or designers use this kaleidoscope to summarize or to memorize different designs and to print on the cloths. Dispersion of light. Next phenomena of light is the dispersion of light. Splitting of light into its colors is known as dispersion of light. In the class 7th, you learned that the sunlight is white. It is white, but it is white. It contains 7 constituent colors. It contains 7 constituent colors which we cannot see through our naked eyes. But when this light is passed through a glass prism means 3D object which is made of the triangles, when it is passed through it, so it disperses or splits into its constituent colors. Rainbow is a natural phenomenon showing dispersion. What happens is when the light passes through a raindrop, so the dispersion takes place and we see a rainbow. So Roig blue. So red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo and violet. In this order only we will see the dispersion of light. It will not happen that the indigo will one day it will come up, red will go down. It is the constituent colors of the white light of the sun. So it is known as the dispersion of light. Now we are going to our next topic, that is eye. Human eye. Suppose there is light, but there is no eye to watch. You would see blind people. So our human eye is one of the very important organ of our body. The eye has a roughly spherical shape, means it has a spherical shape. The outer coat of the eye is white and it is tough. So it can protect the interior of the accident. So if the accident takes place, so the outer clear must be strong. So the white part is very strong, which can protect our eyes. It is not very strong, but it is a delicate part, but it is capable to means protect our eye. Its transparent front part is called cornea. This front part or the first part is known as the cornea. It is the first part where the light rays comes in. Okay. Behind the cornea we find a dark muscular structure is called iris. Iris is the main part and it decides the focal length of your pupil, and it also decides the color of your eye. In the iris there is a small opening called the pupil. It is the small opening known as the pupil. The size of the pupil is controlled by the iris, means it determines how much light should come in your eyes. Now here we have an experiment or activity. Take your friend and put a beam of torch in his eyes and see carefully. Does the size of the pupil change? Does it become smaller? Yes, because when we see towards the eye, our focal length changes and this iris changes that focal length of the pupil, so the least light is entered and it controls the size of the pupil. The iris is the part of the eye which gives its distinctive color. When we say that a person has green eyes, we refer to the actual color of the iris. The iris controls the amount of light entering into the eye, as I told you. The lens focuses light on the back of the eye on a layer called retina. Now the lens, which is in the biconvex lens, is in our eye, which focuses the light on the retina. The retina contains several nerve cells. Now image is formed on the retina. Due to this biconvex lens, image is formed on this retina, and the retina takes that image through the optic nerves. Which nerves? Optic nerves. Through these optic nerves, they are sent to the brain. Sensations created by the nerve cells are then transmitted to the brain through the optic nerve. There are two kinds of cells. First, cones, which are sensitive bright, and rods, which are sensitive to dim light. There are two kinds of cells, that is cones, which is the sensitive for bright light. It works when there is a bright light in the nerve, and when there is a dim light, the rods work. Cones, bright light, and rods, which is dim light. Okay. Parts of human eye. This is the cornea, as I told you. This is the pupil. This inside this opening is pupil. This is the iris. This is the lens. This inside is the lens, and this lens forms the image on. This forms an image on retina, and on this retina there is a chloride. This present inside it is chloride, and it transfers the signals to the optic nerve, and optic nerves give it to the brain. Defects of vision. Now why does some people cannot see? Myopia, short-sightedness. Some people cannot see the objects which are near. Some people cannot see the objects which are too far. Can see the objects close to them clearly, but cannot see distant objects so clearly. This is called myopia. Hypermetropia, that is long-sightedness. On the other hand, some persons cannot see the objects nearby clearly, but they can distinguish objects quite well. Myopia, the objects which are near are very clear, but objects which are far, they are not clear. And hypermetropia, the objects which are near, they are not clear, but objects which are far, they can see that. These are hyper persons, so hypermyopia can see the long things. How to correct defects of vision? Now there should be some treatment to correct the vision, right? So a simple eye exam helps in confirming the diagnosis of myopia. These conditions can be corrected easily by wearing spectacles of concave lens. Concave lens is given to the persons having myopia, and hypermetropia can be corrected by using convex lens in the eye. So care of eyes. How should we take care of eyes so we do not have myopia or hypermetropia? So it is advised to use suitable spectacles. If you do not have, do not use spectacles. If you do not have the spectacles, do not take your friend's spectacle and use, because it can damage your eyes. Too little or too much light is bad for eyes. Do not look at the sun or powerful light directly. Never rub your eyes. Always read the normal distance vision. Do not read by bringing the book too close to your eyes or keeping it too far. Now at last we have the Braille system. Now you would be thinking that how can a person who is visually impaired could see or read or write? So visually impaired persons can read and write through the Braille system. The most important resource for visually challenged person is Braille. So the Braille alphabets means there are dots, which the person can feel that dots and he can understand the letters. That if there is a one dot, it is A, two dots B, and these two dots are there, these are C and respectively. Recapitulation, again we have that the summary what we learned in this topic, that angle of incidence is always equal to the angle of reflection. Is equal to the angle of reflection. Always, sometimes, under special conditions, or never. So its answer is always, because whether it is regular reflection or whether it is diffuse reflection, laws of reflection are followed. Image formed by plane mirror is virtual behind the mirror and enlarged virtual behind the mirror and of the same size as the object. So it is the correct option because it is the same size as the object. A kaleidoscope is a device used by the interior decorator's eye is the camera to the world, which is roughly spherical. We should take proper care of the eyes. Homework is to draw a label sketch of a human eye, state the laws of reflection, and describe an activity to show that incident ray, reflected ray, and normal at the point lie on the same plane. I hope you understood the whole chapter in a very fun way and a short way. We covered the whole chapter. So after this video, you should not see any other video because whole chapter is covered in this video. If you like this video, like, share, and subscribe our channel Little Dear Sir, and also watch our other NCERT videos. Thank you.